Hello, and welcome to the extension activities for quarter two. Again, these activities are for if you totally understand solving the equations, all the slope, the y-intercept, all that stuff, if you're good with that, or even if you're just good with the equations and inequality stuff, because that's what these extension activities are for. These are just for the equations and inequalities. So if you're still struggling with the graphing, you can still go back and do that on the review practice and work. These extensions are just for equations and inequalities. The extension activities are pretty much going to be things that we wish we had more time in the year to teach you and to go over with you, but because of how short our time together is, we don't necessarily always have time for it. There are things that we're hoping to add in later in the year. So I'm glad that you chose this route for yourself, and I hope this challenges you. So the first activity that we're going to be doing is we're going to be combining like terms. So first we need to figure out what that word means. The word term, like terms, means that we have a number or a variable that is added or subtracted in an algebraic expression. Remember, an expression, there's no equations, no inequality signs, no equal signs. So we see just add, subtract, multiply, divide, that's it. So that's just the word terms, but then there's also the word like terms. And like terms are terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. The same variable raised to the same power. So for example, if we come down here, I have negative 3x to the second power. So this like term can only be combined with things that have that x squared, that x to the second power. And that's what they want us to do down here. They want us to go through and shade or color in the ones that have the same term, their same like terms. So again, this x is squared. This x is not squared, so they are not like terms. There's no x here. This has xy. This one doesn't have any y's in it. This is just x. This one's x squared. So that means this is a like term. I can combine those two things with each other. And then keep looking through. Let me know, are there any other ones that could be combined? With the yellows, x squares. Yeah, this negative 5x squared, that can be combined with it too. But that's the only one because their x's are squared. The next term that we have is 8x. So that means I can only combine it if I just have a number with an x, or just an x by itself. I can't combine it with a 6, there's no x there. I can't combine it here because it has x and a y, but I can combine it with this because that has 25x. The x is just a plain old x. What other numbers can I combine that with in here? Negative 2x, 90x, 87 or 67x, sorry. All those numbers just have x with them. All of those are like terms. They can be combined with each other. I'm going to use yellow. Next, we have the number 6. 6 can be combined with anything that does not have a variable. So I can't combine it here. 6 doesn't have an x or a y. What can I combine 6 with? 15, negative 3, negative 1, 0, and 7. All of those things, there's no variables with them. They're just numbers, just plain old numbers. They are all like terms. I can combine all those things with each other. Then I have xy's. It doesn't matter what's in front. It just matters that all the letters behind are the same. So I can combine that with negative 10xy. Those are like terms. 50xy, those are like terms. And 22xy. Those are like terms. And then the last set is just that plain old y. So I have 9y, and I have 75y. Those are all my like terms. That's the hardest part, is identifying the like terms. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to start actually combining them together, not just identifying them. So first we have x plus 1 plus x squared plus 4x plus 4. I want to go through and find my like terms first. So first I have x. X is a like term with anything else here? Positive 4x. So I can combine those terms together. What would x plus 4x be? That would give me 5x. Because this is just 1x. So if I have that x plus 4x, so I'm putting 4 more x's with it, I get 5x total. Then I have my whole number 1. That's a positive 1 because there's a plus in front of it. Are there any other like terms I can combine with that 1? 4. So what's a positive 1 plus 4? That's a plus 5. And then last we have an x squared. A positive x squared. Is there anything I can combine with that? Nope, that's going to be all by itself, just positive x squared. It's hard to see on the right with the yellow pen. So better. So now we've combined all of our like terms, but when you see it written in a math textbook on a test, what you'll see is whatever the highest exponent is, that'll be written first. So the way you would see this written for an answer in a textbook would be x squared first, then plus 5x, and then plus 5. This is not wrong. It's just this is how you would see it in a textbook and an answer key on a test. Next one, let's do one more together. So we have our x's. So we have first our negative 4x, and then what's going to go with that? Minus 8x. So that means I have negative 4x and negative 8x. So how many total negatives is that going to be for my x's? That's going to be negative 12x. Because again, the 4 negative x's, the 8 negative x's all together, there's nothing to cancel there, make negative 12x. And then we're going to combine our 5 minus 9. So if I have positive 5 minus 9, cancel, 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 I'm left with negative 4. So this would give me negative 12x minus 4. Go ahead and try 3 and 4 on your own. Pause the video and play it again once you think you've combined all your like terms to see if you were correct. Just do 3. Just do 3. Just do 3. So if you did your pluses and your minuses, you would see that you're left with a positive 1y or just y. You don't have to write the 1 in front of it. Lazy math people aren't going to do that for you. Then if you combine your negative 10 and your other negative 10, that's going to give you a total of negative 20. So here you would get y minus 20. 4 is where it gets a little tricky. This gets into a topic that we're going to have later called the distributive property. This gets into the distributive property. The distributive property, what it does is it takes this number that's outside your parentheses and multiplies it times everything that's on the inside of your parentheses. We're going to get into that on a different set of notes. I don't want to jump into it quite yet. So just pretend like these parentheses aren't here. Pretend like those parentheses aren't there when you're solving this. Pretend like those parentheses aren't there when you're solving this. So just do negative 5 minus 2x plus 3 minus 4 minus 3x plus 10. Pause the video, play it when you're done. So for that last one, you should get 4 minus 5x, or the way you would see it in a textbook would be negative 5x plus 4. As always, if you have questions on these things, please send us emails. We would love to hear from you guys, and especially to see that you're working on the extension activities. Go ahead and go on to the activity.